Welcome to the Design Dash podcast, your guide to designing a life you love. Join us as we explore the keys to living the life you want without compromise. Hey everyone, welcome to the Design Dash podcast. I am your co-host, Melissa Grove, and I'm here with my other co-host, Lori Mansky. And we are really excited to have our guest, Danae Branson, here with us today. She is the founder of Elite Design Assistants. It's a virtual assistant agency that's really become a secret weapon for interior designers who are looking to scale and get their time back. We've actually talked about it in the Design Dash community. And if you are a community member, you've heard about this. And we have a couple community members who've reached out already, and one I think who's already working with Elite Design Assistants. So that's great. And Danae's also building Niche Maven, which is a new freelance platform for design, architecture, construction, and real estate pros. So checking all the boxes for our industry here. So Danae, thank you for joining us. We're excited to talk to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
So I did read somewhere that you got your start in marketing. I got my start in marketing, and now you're an entrepreneur. And I think that's so interesting when marketers become entrepreneurs, because we prepare to support entrepreneurs and other business owners our entire career, and then we have our own. So what brought you into the world of owning your own business? And I guess now multiple businesses.
Yeah, so like you said, I did start in marketing for actually a financial industry. So I have done that for a few years, and then I just naturally gravitated into different things that I really enjoyed. But I always knew I wanted to be a business owner. My grandparents were entrepreneurs. My husband's family was all entrepreneurs, and it was just something that I really wanted to do. And I was really looking to focus on helping other people. How can I help other people? And so marketing was a great way to do that. And then I eventually found my way into interior design. I was actually self-taught in interior design. My husband was a painting contractor, worked in a lot of homes. I helped kind of do that for years. But previous to actually getting into the interior design and helping people, I was actually helping people on the financial industry. So as an entrepreneur, and then interior designers that I was networking with were asking, why don't you do this for interior designers? Like, we need your help. Can you please focus on this industry? And so I started focusing on the interior design industry, and I actually went back to school, took more classes. I really wanted to learn what interior designers were up against, what their businesses looked like, all the ins and outs, and obviously all the problems that I could solve for them. So that's kind of what led me here today. Yeah.
So let's talk about those challenges, because we talk about that a lot too. What would you say interior designers are really looking for when they reach out to Elite Design Assistants? What challenges are they facing?
Yeah, a lot of them are just overwhelmed. They're trying to do all the things. Yeah. They're getting very busy. They have a lot of clients. They do not want to turn anyone down and say no, because the fear of down the road is you kind of lose that momentum.
Sure.
And so they've kind of realized all the things, they're wearing so many hats. I mean, interior designers are really, juggling a million balls in the air at once. And so they need help. And so what I tell them is just let me know where you need help. Look at all the tasks that maybe you procrastinate, that you don't want to do yourself, because maybe that's not where your joy is. But we can help with almost anything that can be done virtually within an interior design business.
Okay.
And so when a designer is coming to you, in general, I know everyone has different things that they need. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, when they're coming to you, what's the first thing they're looking for? Like, where's that gap? The first thing.
Yeah. So the most popular requests I see are anything admin, back-end office admin tasks, all of that, drafting.
Back office.
Yes.
I mean, we love the people that want to do it for us, but we don't like doing it ourselves.
Exactly. I mean, most people didn't go to interior design school or become a self-taught interior designer because they loved back-end office tasks, right?
Right.
Like they wanted to be that creative designer and design spaces. That's what they want to focus on. They don't want to focus on invoicing and purchase orders and, client communications, even at times, just all those little emails and questions that need to be answered at any given time. And so back end office admin all day long, that's one of our most popular requests. Like I said, the drafting, the 3D renders, sourcing, marketing's becoming more and more popular. Obviously, I have a background in marketing. I also wanted to market that service to other people, but it's becoming more and more prevalent today. And the other service that is becoming more and more popular is actually like a senior designer. Firms are getting so busy, yet they're maybe not quite ready to pull the trigger on a full-time in-house senior designer, or maybe they just can't find anyone local that fits, what they're looking for. So we will help them out, whether it's long-term or short-term until they hire somebody local, whatever. We're willing to fill the gaps wherever they need.
Yeah, I think that's a really tough role to hire for. And when we're hiring a senior designer, it takes a long time to find that right fit. So how do you find that person? How are you doing that?
Yeah. So a lot of the people we've been around for long enough now, word of mouth and, just kind of growing the network. So we come across a lot of people who at one time ran their own design firm, but they no longer want to do that. They want to support other designers.
Okay.
And
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yes. And so they're happy to still do all the things as a senior designer. They just don't want to be the person responsible for running the firm, doing the payroll, all of that sort of thing.
Yes.
So it kind of allows them to do the things they love and enjoy without being the entrepreneur, the entrepreneur side of it.
Sounds kind of ideal.
Yeah, it's so hard to find those like really experienced roles. I mean, if we're seeking out a senior, and of course we don't need a senior often because we have them. So when we're, and I feel like they tend to they either stick with the firm for the long haul, like this is what they want to do, or they go out on their own. Like there's very rarely any in between. So it's always so hard for us to find those experienced roles. And we speak to a lot of emerging designers who it's just them, or they might have one other person. And I think they're all just very uncertain about hiring in general. Can I afford it? Like, should I bring somebody on full time? Can I bring somebody on part time? I thought it was really interesting that you said that you fill those gaps in, because I feel like so many designers are so afraid about taking that next step that then they just don't, and they get burnt out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do as needed, no minimums. I mean, we truly are filling the gaps. So designers that need help can hire us, and they can get the help, and they can see how well this works and how great it is for their business. And obviously we want, they're going to be upcharging whatever we're charging. So they're still making that money, but it's freeing up more time for them to do more design work, take on more clients, not have a long wait list or risk, losing clients to other designers if they're really busy right now. And so it's worked out really well, where we've worked with a lot of people who are really hesitant. But since we have the no minimums and as needed, they got in, they realized how well it worked. And now they've been working with us for 4 or 5 years and are really maximizing everything they can get out of our, company. Because if we hire, say, an admin for you, and then you come back 6 months later and are like, now I need somebody to help with drafting. And then 6 months later, now I need a marketer. I mean, we can fill all the roles for your team. And then you just get, one invoice from us with each role, the details. It's so nice and easy that it's working out really well for a lot of designers.
Is the biggest pain point you're seeing as a designer that just has too much work coming in that they can't accommodate it? Like, what is the biggest pain point?
Yeah, that is one of them. Another one is just a designer that is, like I said, they're trying to do all the things and they're getting like stuck in the weeds because maybe they really don't love invoicing. I mean, it's shocking how many designers don't love invoicing, but that's how you get paid. So then they're like so behind on their invoicing. But like I said, nobody goes to the design school to want to, be an admin. But shockingly, I find those people who are more analytical and more business brained, but went to interior design school and come out and go, you know what? I guess I don't love designing. I'm not as creative as I thought. I really want to do the back end office. I mean, it's hard for some people to understand, but those people obviously out there in the world, they exist. They're very real. That's who we hire because they know the industry. They want to do all the admin and procurement and, all of that kind of stuff. And so that's who we're hiring to then match with interior designers that need that piece. So everyone on our team has interior design experience. I
Okay.
mean, we only hire very well-versed, experienced people because interior design is such a niche industry.
Yes.
Unless you're in it, you just really don't understand what a designer goes through and where they might need help.
Hmm. And so what is Niche Maven doing differently?
Sure.
Tell us
So,
about that because this is
yeah.
exciting.
So, Elite Design Assistance is more of a hands-on service. People come to us. We are really looking on our team to see who is that perfect match, and we facilitate the interviews and the invoicing and the team building and all the things. Niche Maven is more of a freelancer platform. So
Mhm.
this came about because we have people that have real needs in real time. And if I'm not available at midnight, or if I'm not available on Labor Day or a holiday weekend or whatever, even though I have other people on my team, we have real time that we're all off. Niche Maven came about because people can just go right to Niche Maven. They can find a freelancer. Maybe it's a one-off project.
Mhm.
Maybe they just need temporary help. Maybe they need somebody ASAP, and we maybe have a 2 to 3 day wait on getting you that perfect person. And so we were trying to again fill the gaps of where we're not able to help with another platform that can
Mhm.
help do more of an immediate, maybe short-term need.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool. I just feel like growing a team, you'd mentioned it before, but interior design is a niche industry. I've been in it now for 7 years, but man, I feel like it took me about 3 of those to get used to it. It's just such a different beast altogether. And I think it can be really difficult to grow a team successfully. And so
Mhm.
we've always been very open to working with contractors and working with freelancers. But I think that with our senior designers who end up managing them, they can find that a challenge. They want somebody in-house all the time, especially with site visits and things like that. You almost need somebody to be full-time. Like, how can an interior designer, if they are looking for a virtual assistant, like how can they prepare themselves for working with somebody virtually?
Right. I would say obviously it's good to get organized as far as what tasks you want to delegate, look at what's bogging you down, what you're procrastinating, what you don't love, where's your time being spent that you can be spending it better elsewhere. So get a clear idea of what you're looking for, tasks, platforms you need that person to know, because we match based on platform, right?
Mm.
Designers aren't all using the same platforms. So we
Yeah.
want to match you with somebody that is using the same platforms you are so they can come in and kind of hit the ground running. And so I just tell them to kind of have an idea, and whether we talk about it on a phone call, like a discovery call with me, or they send me an email and are like, here's where I need help. This is my ideal person. Find me this person. But I do tell them that it is obviously best to be organized and know what you're going to outsource. Sometimes people will call me and they need like 10 different needs that are all in different areas of the industry. I'm like, let's just focus on top priority and we'll work down the list and we'll help
Mm.
you. But like I said, the organization and communication is key.
Yeah. It's like, let's tackle one issue at a time, one person at a time.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I think, at LARU Design Collective, I started out just as me. It was just me. And I immediately started hiring. There was nothing like elite design assistants or
Mhm.
niche maven out there at that time. So I was really reactive hiring at the beginning just because I was able to drum up business. Like that's my zone of genius is business development. Um, but you have to have a team to support that. And I really do think that every interior designer, I mean, I guess if you set out just to be that solopreneur, you're going to do one project at a time. That's great. But I do think that building that team around you is what's going to make you happier. Like you're going to have more freedom, you'll see more profit, all of those things. And it's really, I think, encouraging to hear that it doesn't have to be that full time salaried team, at least not in full. Like maybe you have some of those key roles that are salaried, they're full time, they're with you, but then you can supplement that team with, some contractors, virtual assistants. I like that idea. So the designers that are coming to you, are they that are looking for team building?
Mhm.
Are they seasoned? Are they fresh faced? Like who are who are you really serving? Is there one person you're really talking to?
Right. So we talk to actually all sorts of people. We talk to the solo, design
Mhm.
firms. Maybe they've been around 5 to 7 years, 10 years, something like that. We talk
Okay.
to newer designers. So people that are really, they're running a business, they have clients coming in, but maybe they just quite yet don't know all the pieces of the puzzle to actually run their business.
Mhm.
So we are seeing some newer, we are seeing large firms that have like that one piece they cannot seem to find. Like they can find everybody to fill all the roles, but maybe they just can't find anyone who's really good at, say, sourcing.
Okay.
Instead of just hiring somebody, they come to us, full-time in-house, they'll come to us and find that sourcing piece.
Hmm.
Or like I said, we've got the firms that are looking for senior designers right now are usually 10 to 12 plus, people already on the team, but
Mhm.
they just cannot find that senior designer. We have one firm, I think there's 12 of them. They have 2 different locations. They hired a senior designer through me and it was working out so well. Within 2 months, they call me back and are like, we need another one.
Okay.
Find us another one. I mean, it's just, those are the types of firms looking for the senior designer. But for all the other services, these designers could be doing it 1 year. They could be doing it, 15 years. Some designers that have been doing it 20 plus maybe want to slow down a little bit themselves, but they don't want to give up the client, building piece. So they're going to
Mhm.
hire somebody to help them out so that they can take a vacation or they can just take some more time for themselves. They've been running
Mhm.
their businesses 24/7 for how many years? They're finally ready to slow down, but they're not ready to retire yet.
Hmm.
Yep.
It really runs that whole life cycle then. I mean,
Yeah.
you just don't know what you're going to need at different points.
Yes.
And some of those, like sometimes it just comes on so quickly, like all of a sudden, I don't know. Melissa can speak to this too, but I feel like oftentimes this industry can almost be feast or famine. You don't, and it's hard as hell to predict when you're going to be
Mhm.
extremely busy versus when you may see a lull. We used to be like, oh, it's seasonal, summer, we're going to be quiet. That is not necessarily true. Or, the holidays are going to be quiet. You're not going to get a lot of new business. We've gotten a ton of new business at the holiday. Like you just never can predict. So it is really nice to know that there's a resource out there where if you need that like immediate support, you can get it. How many designers come to you and they're like, man, this virtual person is excellent. Can I hire them full time? Does that
It's
happen?
happened a few times. It has. And obviously, I mean, I want to do what's best for all designers and their businesses and the virtual design assistants. So obviously the contracting is set up so people can't just kind of take them away from me, so to speak.
Yes.
However, in the
Because I can
few
see that being a
instances,
danger.
yes, in the few instances that it's happened and they really want to hire them full time, make them a W-2 employee, then we just work out some sort of like recruiting fee
Right.
where
Okay.
they
That
pay
makes
me
sense.
like, yep, they pay me a recruiting fee so that then I, um, remove the contracting, then that person can
Okay.
now go direct.
Yeah.
We've done it a couple of different ways. So I would say, the couple of, maybe it's happened 3 or 4 times. 3 of the 4, they did go 100% full-time W-2 direct. The
Okay.
other time they paid the recruiting fee, but then allowed that virtual design assistant to still work for me for other clients, which was
Huh.
really interesting. But they wanted them W-2, but only, it wasn't 40 hours a week, I think.
Oh, I understand.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so they didn't want to take away their virtual design assistant's ability to make more income, yet they wanted to be able to have them on the payroll as a W-2 and,
To each their own. You never
to
know
each
what
their
someone's going
own.
to need.
Yes. Yeah. Um,
Um,
it's
it,
happened a few times, but like you said, since this industry is feast or famine, and since I offer the as needed, no minimums. A lot of people don't do that because they know if they do get a lull in July or August, they're not paying somebody to sit around and do nothing in July and August because
right.
they think they might need them again in September. They just call me again or they reach right back out to their virtual design assistant and just keep going. So,
So, So on this idea of like to each their own, everyone does it
Mhm.
differently. Do you think that because I'm assuming that you see this, that every firm does it totally differently. We're all running our firms. I mean, there may be some consistencies, but for the most part, we're billing differently, we're hiring differently, we're recruiting client, like doing biz dev differently. Do you think that's bad for the industry that we all do it so differently? Should there be some consistency?
Um, since I'm not on the designer's client side, I don't really, see how that could be the inconsistency. Does that make sense? Because I'm business to business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I think what I've noticed is every region is different too. So it's hard to say, like, I think we should do it the same across the board, across the United States. I
Right.
mean, I've talked to designers who are, you know, flat fee, and that's awesome. And I've talked to designers who are hourly, and that's awesome. And then I've seen with AI coming on, that people are like, nope, you should really go to flat fee now because AI is going to start making things so much quicker and more productive, but you don't want to lose out on that income.
That's
So
an
it's
interesting
just one of those,
perspective.
it's always changing. And like with me, with the elite design assistants and with Niche Maven, I'm trying to keep on top of it, just the always changing needs of designers, especially now with AI becoming more prevalent, or back when e-design was, first came about, or just all the things during COVID. I mean, it's just constantly changing and evolving, and I'm just always trying to stay on top of it. But I've seen so many successful designers do it differently. I guess
Yep.
for me personally, it's hard to say, hey, we should all be doing it one way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's dive into that. What are some of the big changes that you've seen from when you first started out working with designers to now? Like, what are some big industry changes that you've seen, especially in hiring?
Yes. I would say some of the bigger ones are, so we went from virtual design assistant wasn't really a big thing. People were really hesitant until COVID hit. And then it exploded because that was your only option.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am seeing more people requesting, like, Danae, is there any way you can find me local? We are
Yep.
having more requests for local. And what's happening is my team, who used to be, nope, we're 100% remote, that's not even an option. I now am having more and more team members who are like, I am open to local. So
Mm.
we've actually started a list of all the people that are open to local. So when designers reach out to us for local, do we have a match? Can we help them out in that, sense? So we are doing that. I am noticing also that change in the marketing and social media piece of before, people weren't needing help because I think during COVID they just had the steady stream of clients and it was either word of mouth or they didn't have to do anything. Now some of those pipelines are drying up for certain designers. So they're back to marketing again. They need to get out in front of people. They need to try to get that pipeline going. And so we're seeing more of the need for the continuous, ongoing
Mhm.
marketing services.
That's interesting insight because I think that we've seen the same in our studio. And it's also that we're 5 years post COVID, start of
Mhm.
COVID. So I think people are ready to get back together again. And we're hybrid in our office. And we have some contractors that never, like, they may live in another country or another state that we never see. But I do think we see the team coming in more often to the studio, even though we don't have to. And we're definitely, our marketing is getting more in person and that high touch. So yeah, I think that we're seeing that too, right, Melissa?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we never really stopped our marketing during
Right.
COVID, which that's a big thing that we're all about, just constantly talking about it and engaging with our audience. I mean, I think that you absolutely have to. But I remember when COVID when first started, we were just like, hey, we're just going to leave the office. We'll be back here in 2 weeks. Of course, that didn't
Right.
happen.
Yep.
But I think that the big challenge was we were just like, how do we do this apart? Because there's so much in-person collaboration that's needed. Design is very tactile. Like you want to feel it. I think it's very hard to work through things virtually. You're looking at specs, you want to print them out. You're looking at uh, plans and you want to draw on them. Like you can't, I don't, and you want to do that in person. But, like Laura said, 5 years post the start of COVID, now we do work hybrid. I mean, half of the office is here, half of them are at home. And I think that really does speak to the adaptability of this industry. I think that I probably would have said when I first started, maybe 7 years ago, that this industry was very traditional and somewhat slow moving. And I mean, obviously it's not tech, so it's not as quickly as others. But I think that it just had to adapt so quickly. And I think that the hiring piece is really affected by that.
Mm-hmm.
I think to your point too, Melissa, like you talked about the fact that we have to collaborate. Like we're a collaborative industry, whether it's with our clients or internally with our team or vendors or whoever. And so we've just adapted, and we had some of these things in place before COVID, which made it easy for us to go hybrid.
True.
But
Yep.
we've had these technological tools that we've leveraged to make that collaboration virtually or hybrid or whatever easier. And we work with a lot of clients that may be not in our same city. So we work nationally or internationally. So we had adapted those tools. But what tools do you see designers using, Danae, that help with that virtual collaboration? Or like hybrid, where sometimes we're together, sometimes we're not.
Yeah. So I know a lot of them will still do like the Zoom, meetings. They like the face to face with their assistant, so they have like a weekly standing meeting kind of thing. I know some of them, when they're doing sample orders, like the assistant will actually order samples to them to look at them, feel them, whatever, to be able to help create different designs. And then they get shipped to the designer just for approval. I mean, there's certain things like that and again, like I said, every, design firm runs their team a little bit differently, but those are some of the tools I know they're using. Just to make sure that it still feels kind of like that as in person as possible. But I do have people like you guys that are hybrid. So they work remotely, but yet they might live close enough to go on site and do measuring or do site visits or, things like that. So it just kind of depends on where in the United States you're located and who I have available. And if I have somebody within an hour radius or whatever that can help you with those types of things.
And as far as like technology tools, what are you seeing the firms or the designers that you work with? What are they using? Because we use like Basecamp for team collaboration and communication and project management to some extent, but we use Studio Designer for procurement and ordering, and then we use QuickBooks for time tracking and then invoicing. So what are you seeing designers use primarily?
I'm seeing a lot of Asana.
Okay.
We do see a lot of Studio Designer.
Uh-huh.
We're starting to see more, I think it's Canvas for the
Canva.
measuring, for the drafting and everything.
Canvas.
Canvas, yes.
I don't know Canvas. Do you, Melissa? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a measuring tool, I believe, that you can go into a site, measure it, and then the canvas then gets sent to the drafter so that they have all the measurements and everything.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And then AutoCAD, Cheap Architect, SketchUp still for that piece, sometimes depending on if you want 3D render that's more sketchy, or if you want something that's more of a photorealistic, there's different plugins that people are using.
Do you see firms going to Revit?
That is one of the least requested platforms I get, honestly.
Good to know. Yes. We talk about this in our studio.
All the time. Like, should we get it? Should we get it? Should we
use AutoCAD?
Okay. AutoCAD and Cheap Architect are the two, and probably SketchUp. Those three all day long. That's what
if
people
you're not doing Revit, do not despair. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even trying to think. I might have 2 people on my entire team that even know Revit. See, that was an issue too. We just weren't ever getting the request. So then I was never even finding anyone who could do Revit. I mean, it was just like a luck thing. It's
like my favorite thing. Yes. I'm trying to think of what other tools we use. We just started using Bluebeam. Have you heard of Bluebeam?
Bluebeam. And that is
to mark up to redline documents. Because if we're in the field or we're remote, it's just a way to collaborate over red lines of AutoCAD or PDF drawings. So we have a member of our team that's really been pushing Bluebeam. So I'm wondering if others are using that.
No. I haven't heard of that one yet. Now I'm going to have to write that one down though and look into it. But yeah, I haven't heard of that one yet.
And then what about design firms using PC versus Mac?
I'm
read on that?
Most of them, I believe, are PC.
Okay.
And the only reason why I think that is the case is because if I do occasionally get a Mac user, they tell me, by the way, I use Mac.
Okay.
Just so that if I'm matching them with somebody, the Mac is, sometimes that helps with the platforms and different things like that. But I believe most of them are using PC and most of the virtual design assistants are using PC. I mean, I do have a few Mac users, but I think PC seems to be the more popular route right now.
I think this is all really helpful for us in our community too. But Melissa, do you have any burning wrap-up questions?
I guess the one question that I really have is for those people who are looking to make that first hire, maybe their second hire. They're just like, okay, I do really want to grow, but they're afraid to. They're really uncertain.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you have for them to make that leap?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell them to, to think about where they want to be, down the road. Like if you really want to grow and scale and where you want to be, say in 6 months or a year, because if you do nothing, you're going to be exactly where you are today in 6 months or 1 year. You know what I mean? So it's always you might as well start now. You might as well do the research and look into it. Just because you look into it doesn't mean you need to pull the trigger. But at least if you consider, the positives and the pros of hiring. I know for some people it is very scary. And so when we talk to them, we tell them everything we can, answer all their questions, and then let them know you're also going to talk to the people we think would be the best fit for you before you make a decision. I mean, we want to make sure that you're really comfortable with this. We want to make sure that it's a really good fit, and you make that decision and you work with somebody. That person's seasoned. They're going to let you know what they need to be successful, because we all want this to work and we all want everybody to be successful. But it's just kind of taking that leap of faith, I guess, because if you don't, then you're just going to continue to remain stuck. And, I feel like the wheels spin, and I will have people that come to me and are really nervous and hesitant, and they decide not to hire. And then 6 months later, they're back to me again.
Yep.
And then 2 months later, they're back to me again. It's let's just pull the trigger on this. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't work out,
and you try again later.
At least.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So take it to the choir here. We've been saying that.
Yes.
Yeah. Take the lead.
Yes. Just take, and we do help in any way we can. And I tell people, email me, call me if you have questions, if you have concerns. And again, we take all the steps possible to make sure they're comfortable before they even start working with somebody. Do a trial project. Like I said, you're not tied into anything here. Give us a chance for us to prove to you that this works and that you will love it. And, there are still a few people in this world that it just does not work for. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're somebody who's just not at all organized, or you're really fly by the seat of your pants, or it's amazing that there are people out there that can run a design firm, but yet still aren't good at working with other people,
Yeah.
We're going to give you all the tools that you need and that we need, but we can't force communication with designers,
Yeah.
So
as long as you're open to hiring or willing to try,
yes,
you're communicative, and you can remain organized or give it a shot.
Yes.
It's worth trying. Absolutely.
It is worth trying. Yeah. I mean, at least organized enough to hire somebody else to continue to keep you organized.
It's just one small step for yourself.
Yes.
Help me help you.
Exactly.
I think this is really great. Thank you. It's great to know that there's an option out there other than just going out to your network or putting a job description and a job post out on LinkedIn or whatever, which is what we do. And I mean, it works, but it's hard. It's not easy. So it's great to know that there's another way, and that you're not going alone, that there is support. So thank you, Danae. This has really been, I think, enlightening. We appreciate you being here.
Yes. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Make sure to check out our next podcast, coming live next week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. In the meantime, you can find us and more wonderful stories like these on designdash.com. And make sure to follow us at Design Dasher on Instagram and TikTok. Till next time.